Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of D&D Investigations. I know it's been a while. Goodness gracious, has it ever been a while? I'm sorry. I hope everything's coming through okay. For some reason, it looks like my music may be coming through my mic, and I'm not really sure why. Oh, but I am hearing myself. I'm hearing myself for some reason. Yeah, hold on. Oh my goodness. I had it running in a window. I'm a retard. Hello, everyone. Hi, Morg. Hi, Hargrave. How you guys doing? Oh, boy. What a few weeks. I know. I've been gone a really long time. And you know what? It was lovely. No offense to any of you guys, but man, it was pretty fucking good. Um, I it's not that I don't like doing this. I do. I just didn't want to talk about any of it. I'd see stuff and be like, yeah, I could talk about that on stream. And I'd download the fucking live and start to edit it. And I just never finish. I guess. 'Cause damn. This was so much of the same shit day after day after day. It was Shane creating some victim narrative because back me bro is a dumb fucking idea. Like, it's just a dumb idea. But it's because he's so successful with Inglorious Rex, guys. Yeah. Ethan doing the same shit, going after people because... oh, so many reasons. Bell County's coming up. Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini have some huge announcement that they're gonna give at San Diego Comic-Con regarding this new Project X that they have signups for over on Kickstarter. I have no idea what it is, but I want to know. I want to know. Right? And the Ripaverse with their new contract, which I'm going to talk about a little bit when we get to the dumpster fire round, just set everything off into the fucking stratosphere. It's just horrible. And I just didn't feel like talking about it. Yeah. Bell County and San Diego Comic-Con. And for the Fans Fest, guys, just not, it's not looking good at all. At all. Oh my gosh. I kept thinking, somebody's gonna buy more. Somebody's gonna back more. And it did happen. And we'll get to that too in a little bit. Also, there was some movement on the H3H3 Ethan Klein versus Denims front. That's gonna get interesting now. At least more interesting. The snark mod thing was pretty crazy though. Those guys trying to pretend they had nothing to do with it. But I'll talk to you a bit about that. We had some Liam showing up on LRJ. I didn't do a whole lot of clipping. Today's gonna be a whole lot of screenshots. I'm sorry. I did not have it in me to go clipping through these streams because, oh, fuck me. So, we're gonna talk about that a little bit. And I want to talk about Rev Ruin and Paul Ravoche. Actually, Paul Ravoche is why I noticed Rev Ruin, like, really caught my attention. And I'll show you why. Because it was so Liam to me. It was just this weird mirror image of Liam and Then you had everybody going after Rev, including Liam, because he was finally like, oh my gosh, there's somebody I can go after. And I feel like there was something else. Oh yes, the Paul Revaux thing, which that is the only thing I have a clip for. Yay! And it's short. Oh well. But that was mostly screenshots. Fuck all these people, man. I really need to find another place to hang out. Yeah. Ruinology has been born. And the thing is like before Tony even streamed, I already knew all about Rev Ruin, because he issued a challenge. I'm going to show you in a minute. But first, the H3H3 snark mods had their motion to quash the subpoena that was issued to them in all 3 cases. So, as you may remember, or not, because maybe you weren't even around, Ethan Klein is suing Denims, Brogan, and Casey Tron for copyright violation, and can conceivably get large amounts of cash. Not from Casey Tron, because they settled. Casey Tron had no money. Actually, none of these broads have any money, but it should cost them for what they did. So he had he registered his video for copyright and then showed it, and these 3 women all chose to play his video with very, very little commentary, and the whole time talking about how they were doing it to take views from him, which is actionable, which is why he sued them. So Casey Tron settled. Frogan was supposed to respond to the complaint back in September of last year and never did. So my guess is they're talking behind the scenes and, coming to some sort of accommodation. Either that or any day now we'll see him file for default. Never know. And then there's Denims. Denims filed the day after this. Let me go ahead and open this up so I can get to my next picture. The day after this, Denims, or 2 days later, Denims filed a motion for partial judgment. And basically what her attorney was trying to claim was that Ethan Klein in no way proved that there was any copyright violation through his filings and did not make a prima facie case for such. Klein's perplexingly long 79-page copyright infringement complaint, defendant Saber is one of a large community of online actors who through host platforms like Twitch engage with their online audience through live streams to discuss trending issues. And that's what her lawyer is trying to claim that she did. Now, Ethan Klein's lawyer, of course, he filed a motion because he's opposing her motion for partial judgment. And this is the one I'm actually going to cover a little bit more because it's far more interesting. And he seems to have a much better attorney. So, here we go. I know, it's a little boring. But he says the motion must be denied because Denims cannot show she made fair use. The central question in this case is not if Denims commented on the nuke, that was the name of the video. The question is whether its extent was sufficient to justify commercially exploiting the nuke in its entirety immediately upon release. Now, part of the problem as we go along is all of this shit she said on her stream. The commercial exploitation of a work immediately upon release also undermines the assertion that the work is being used for a fundamentally different purpose. Denims' lawyer also tried to argue that they could not prove that people watched Denims instead of watching Ethan Klein, even though there were people in the chat openly saying so and her acknowledging all of that. And then the Honorable Sally Kim, who was the judge for the subpoena motion, in her order denying the motion to quash, it found that TEI alleged and proved the H3 snark mods directed potential viewers of the nuke to view Denims' watch party as a substitute for the original. Denims' audience even stated that they were viewing her watch party as a substitute for the original. Her chat was littered with people thanking her for hosting the watch party because otherwise they would have watched the official version. So, they have that. Then, of course, Denims' content compromises of hosting watch parties of entire copyrighted works and showing them without permission and minimal commentary. During the debate, Denims made several damning admissions, including that 1, her watch parties were filler content, she felt entitled to the content, and that she might not be saying anything, or she might walk away from the screen during her watch parties. So, there's all of that. I have a feeling that they will probably settle. I don't know how they couldn't. She'd have to be dumb to take this in front of a jury or even, in front of just a judge deciding, oh, hello, young Mr. Coleman, how are you today? Can't wait to see you next month. Very exciting, very exciting. Yeah, so that happened over there in H3H3 land. So that should be fun. Now the snark mods have to answer the complaint. They only have a limited time to do so. I don't know if they have to be subpoenaed again, but I assume that now that the court is aware of the judgment, everything just starts rolling again because they basically stayed the case for this whole hearing about the subpoena. You did not send me any lion art. If you do, I might think about it. So now we get to the dumpster fire round. It's not very long. I'm sorry. But it should be kind of fun. We have the Ripaverse making their big announcement that they are going to be working with Marquette to put their shit everywhere. Everywhere. Libraries, your shopping malls, even though most of them are dead, your strip malls, your Walmarts, your Targets, your Barnes and Noble. Ripaverse is expanding at an amazing pace. I think it even includes Amazon. And of course, this sent everybody spinning. Everybody. I started watching Ethan e-fapping Eric July's announcement video, and it was so sad and fucking pathetic, I had to turn it off. I was starting to feel bad for Ethan Van Sciver. How fucked up is that? And no, I did not see that Mint Salad is doing bizarre whiteboard content. I'm not even sure what that means, but she's weird. She's really strange. sorry. And then, we have the For the Fans Fest. Yes, people, I sold a bottle opener since my last stream 3 fucking weeks ago. A bottle opener. Eric July is going global, and they sold a bottle opener. This dude, Matt Rummer, is so fucked, guys. He is the one, it's his money. And I'm listening to people talking about it. I'm listening to Joe Sontag. Oh my God, could he simp any fucking harder for Ethan? And now Ethan's doing a cover for his book. Just because. God. Yeah, that thing's just gonna be phoned in like every other cover Ethan does. Imagine Ethan trying to draw Sontag's OC. How much more like Spawn can he make it? I don't know, but Ethan will try. And I'm listening to him talk, and he's saying, yeah, Rummer's got all these people lined up, man. He's getting all these people to come. Who outside of Comicsgate? Because there ain't nobody on that. In the Indiegogo, and I'm sorry it's not an Indiegogo, there's nobody else on that Fund My Comic page except for Comicsgate people. What, you gonna get Nick Rekieta? Dick Masterson? Whoopee! Comicsgate people. They're just giving them the fucking tables. Joe's gonna be a guest. He's not paying for his table. None of these people are paying for their tables. How the fuck are they paying for this quote-unquote con if nobody has to pay for their tables? How much of their operating budget do you think cons get from renting the fucking space on the floor? I would gather that it's most. I would gather that's where they get a shit ton of their fucking money. And these stupid schlubs are just giving the tables away and everybody's a fucking guest. Huh? And then what? They also get discounts on their hotels. Are their hotels covered? Wouldn't that be a hoot? So I have no idea how they're supposed to be making money for this thing. Rummer's gonna lose his shirt. They're not even promoting it. Malin shits on it. Shane shits on it. They still have the triptych cover up as the cover for the poster. The poster. They don't even have the proper art for the poster, even though Ethan claims he sent it to the guy like over 2 months ago. I saw that on a stream that I didn't clip. Actually, I probably started to clip it and then just said, fuck it. All right. So, yeah. I mean, this is as big a shit show as fucking Back Me Bro. I mean, we have to wait for Back Me Bro. It'll fucking blue ball before that happens. But it will. We will get Back Me Bro satisfaction as well. And then, just cause it's that time, and I'm sorry. But here we go. Now somebody later on tonight will probably be e-fapping fucking Liam. It'll probably be Risey. You know, that seems to be his new job. Right? Right? Did anybody else watch this shit? Did anybody else watch this shit? I tried. I tried, man. I saw that Sin was like e-fapping it for some fucking reason I don't understand. Because this was so fucking bad. It was boring. It was dull. It was painful. Liam looked bored out of his mind. And all you get from Oz is the god avatar up in the corner. It should not have happened, is what I think. I firmly believe this show should not happen. Unless and until they can come up with something interesting. The Oz show worked because Oz put a bunch of people on a panel. Half of them hated each other. And then they would all yell at each other and argue for hours while Oz wandered off to do bong rips. That was the charm. That was the only reason the show fucking worked, and why people would sit there and watch Oz for hours. Nobody watched Oz and Liam when they streamed together, except for the fucking blood sports, because they're fucking boring. Yeah, it was not. There was no internet blood anywhere, Mark. And it was saddening. It was saddening. Man. I like the orange, though. The orange is pretty fucking cool. So. Liam apparently makes weekly trips to the police station to follow up with them. How fucking weird is that? This is not his local police station. This is not the regional police station. This is a police station an hour and a half away from where Liam lives. And I think it might be where Liam used to live, where he built the cuck shed, where all of this supposedly started. I do know that that's like probably up near where her family lives. So they do this like family trip, shopping trip, and then they go back home after Liam pretends and performs like he's going to the fucking police station. Apparently the police station was closed, or their computers were down, or something. There was some problem the 2, maybe 3 times during this stream that they went back to the police station. He goes in empty-handed, he comes back empty-handed. And dude, you look really fucking unhealthy. You need a lot more exercise, a lot less carbs. And no soda. I don't know if you drink soda, but you should cut soda out of your diet, because this is just... You were gonna die soon. Liam, look at you. You have gained so much weight. So much. Yes. Yes, this is really Liam. I took the screenshot from the video. And his kid and his wife's taking the video. His kid's in the back getting all cranky because she wants to fucking eat. And they can't go fucking eat because Liam's got to go to the goddamn police station and suck his family into his weird illusions and delusions about everything going on. And then he goes on fucking LRJ stream with Lord Raptard Jesus and Pan. Now remember, everybody, Pan and Liam go way the fuck back. I don't know if any of you noticed, but Pan wasn't really around on any of the streams where LRJ was shitting on Liam. When Pan was on, they rarely ever shit on Liam, because they're boys, Liam and Pan. So Liam, I didn't even watch the clip that was on Twitter. I just saw from somebody, I don't know, I don't know which of the weird war campaign accounts showed up in my timeline. And then I think Comicsgate Drama tweeted something out about it. And Liam's got to respond to Comicsgate Drama about how he didn't say Ethan lied when Ethan said that Liam struck LRJ. Well, if Ethan said it and you said Ethan didn't say it, you've automatically said that Ethan fucking lied. I mean, that's just the way that shit works, man. That is just the way that shit works. And I'll squeeze myself down here a little bit so you can get a better look at the fucking thing. Yeah. So, Ethan, of course, and this is why you shouldn't stream with these folks. Apparently, Liam had said on LRJ's that he's gonna stream wherever he wants, no matter what Ethan says. So, of course, Ethan comes right behind with a you shouldn't stream with them. I don't know if Liam was prescient or knew that Ethan would have that reaction, or if Liam actually felt pressured not to go on LRJ's stream of all places. Why would he want to? We all heard the shit LRJ was saying about Liam. The nightly fucking EFAPs of Liam shit. And Liam just jumps over there because what? He caught a little heat for doxing Rev Ruin, apparently. His only friend is Frog fucking Tony. They're against Katie did, so he wants to, if he sucks up to them, maybe they'll help him fight Katie did and Sin, because they're beefing with Sin. That's probably his fucking thought process, honest to God. Is he's looking for some sort of internet shield that he can hide behind and let War Campaign be War Campaign for Liam instead of the War Campaign they were for Ethan years ago. It's some crazy fucking shit. Because he says, what choice do I have? I won't be a punching bag. If someone's willing to push back on the harassment and lies, I'll take the help, even if we've had issues before. Right now, most people who should have my back are staying neutral or looking the other way. I'm shunned / blamed. Yeah, that's what happens when you do and say stupid shit. That's what happens when you run around threatening to strike people. That's what happens when you run around actually striking people. Then you get blamed for the strikes that you had nothing to do with. Kind of crazy. Ethan, of course, replies, you have a million other choices than to waste time and give ammo to those two shitheads. And you know, every once in a while... Sorry, my throat's really scratchy, so I have my big, huge fucking thermos thing of water / juice. But every once in a while, unfortunately, as much as it pains me, I agree with Ethan. I know. But he's right. Like, he is. But then he goes on... Liam says, I want them to shoot the FFS church in the head. I'm not going to live through Testify again, and your boy Klippa's already teaming up with the Quaff to make JDA trash books about me. I'm not reliving this. I'm not dying or ending up in hospitals for other people's entertainment. I have no idea what's going on with Klippa and Quaff and JDA, and I would not be surprised if that's just some bullshit that Liam pulled out of his ass, because as far as I can tell, and I think I have JDA blocked. But as far as I can tell, and from what I've seen and from what I've heard, JDA is off somewhere else, fighting with someone else, and is paying very little attention to Comicsgate, except occasionally to punch at Ethan. And Ethan responds with, they can't and don't care to. They care about Shane, John, and I. They are using you. They aren't your proxy. And I have no idea if Ethan understands who we're even talking about. But unless he's saying that they've been going after Liam as a proxy for Ethan, John, and Shane, it's just a stupid reply. Sorry. But Liam, of course, can't stop them from going after Shane, John, or you any more than you can stop Katie, Klippa, and FFS coming after me. Unprovoked, man. Unfucking provoked. Never mind the hours and hours of live streams. Never mind the hours and hours of bitching and moaning and attacking that they all do to each other. Liam didn't provoke any of it. And he thinks, like I said, that they'll fight his enemies so he doesn't have to, like they used to do for Ethan. Why? Why would they? What a step fucking down that is, isn't it? It's like the ultimate in demotion. You were war campaign. You were the police force in Comicsgate. You took down Ethan's enemies and chased the unbelievers out of the movement. Then you lose the Thought Wars, and you're exiled to Canada. And you come back, and the best you can do is stand for Liam. Chase away Liam's enemies. Fight his battles. It's just ridiculous, is what it is. So, of course, Ethan replies with, they won't, and they never did for me either. Now, that's a fucking lie. Up until the Thought Wars, even during the fall of Rome, everything they did was for Ethan. Everything War Campaign did was for Ethan. Even during the fall of Rome, man, when they decided to go into the Discord and they created an alt and it was quote Nurkish's Discord and whatever. I think Thomas might have been running that Discord. I'm not positive, but it certainly wasn't Nurkish. And then tried to strong arm him about anti-Semitic jokes that were in a Discord that wasn't even him, and Ethan was trying to get him to join War Campaign. Like, all of that, Ethan pretending he didn't know that it was all fake, and that Gat and even fucking Tug, they were all trying to hide it from him, and Roe was out of town, so we can just blame Praetorian or some ridiculous fucking shit. It's been a really long time. Excuse me. But all of that they did for Ethan. Everything that they do is for him. But it's not going to be for Liam. It's not. Matt Barr is not going to go to the mat for fucking Liam. Wiggle's not going to go out on a limb for fucking Liam. LRJ might do him a little bit of a favor because otherwise he loses Pan as his fucking co-host. But is that really the kind of position Liam wants to try to put everybody in? Of course it is, but, you know, is it the smart play? No. It's not at all. It was just stupid, because Liam is reactionary. He's only reactionary. But we're going to move on from Liam, because if I don't, I'll start talking about other things that I really don't want to, namely the struggle sessions that he continues to put his wife through on stream. Honey, do I abuse you? No, honey, you don't abuse me. Why are you asking me in public? Fuck. The trips to the goddamn police station. Man, how unhealthy of an environment can that just be for all of them? For all of them. But we're going to move on to Rev Ruin. And I'm not going to comment on Tony's shit. I'm not gonna comment on Liam playing at not doxing Rev while showing everything that Tony had on his stream. And it's not really a dox, but when you're a content creator, you should really stay away from plopping people's private shit up on your live streams and your Twitter, because it's a really bad fucking look. I know, but it just doesn't look professional. It makes people question whether they should give you their money. Anyway. So, Rev, what caught my attention, actually, was during this whole beefing with Ethan and Ravosh. Ravosh had posted a thread about branding, which was really brilliant. He knows a lot about this kind of shit, because he's a professional graphic artist, an animator, and he's been working in this field forever. And Ethan has managed to destroy the branding of Comicsgate. Shane has helped. John Malin most certainly has helped. But it's Ethan's brand. It became Ethan's brand when he had to fight for the copyright against Preston Poulter. I mean, it was his brand before then, but really, really, really. Technically, legally, it's all his brand. And it's a shit brand. Preston Poulter was kind of right. He wasn't going to have to do anything to make Comicsgate a shit brand. He should have just let it play the fuck out. Anyway. And so Rev Ruin responded to Ravosh. And it was so braggadocious. The artwork that people could find if I doxed myself from 20 plus years ago will show the foundation that I built upon to reach this place over 20 plus years of practice. Actually, if I'm being honest, since I first honestly started training and learning, I'm going on 35 years of experience, 27 years pro, being paid and having it be one of my lines of income. Bruh, if you doxed yourself, who the fuck do you think you are? You're just some dude on the internet who traces. And I saw this tweet from Dart Gift, because I guess I had missed a whole bunch of this shit going on in the background, because I don't follow, a lot of these people on Twitter, and they don't show up in my For You. He said, our man, Reverend Ruin, is on par with some of the greatest to utilize this technique. This is tracing. It's not a technique. It is a technique. It is a technique when it's done by somebody who actually can draw photorealism. This is just tracing. And so we get this tweet where, oh, Stray Beans did a lot of heavy lifting here. I cribbed a lot of this from his Twitter, and I fully admit it. But Rev had taken down his Twitter and then privated it for a while, so I couldn't actually get into his Twitter. Now he's back, but he has me blocked, and I already had these screenshots, so I said, fuck it, I'm not going back for more. So what he's showing is thumbed pencils to outline inks and final inks. I missed the final ink screenshot somewhere, and I apologize for that, but I think I need to turn myself up a little bit. Anyway, so this is his sketch. This is when he's drawn it out. This is before he inks it. Now, this is him showing his process, but we go from that to that. It's the same there. It's just, like, kind of clean. This is Rev Rune's artwork from 2008. This is the earliest I could find from him from a comic book that he was going to start hawking. This was on his DeviantArt. His website, he scrubbed it. It's gone. It bragged about having 35 years of experience. And of course, his 27 years as a professional artist. 2008. After 2008, God, that's just... You know what this reminds me of? And this actually reminds me of that god-awful The Gods Must Fear Me book. It's like on that level of shit. Just awful, right? Then the next example of his art that I can find is from 2013. It's this piece, which I swear to God, I've seen it before. This is an obvious trace. It's a commission, but this is an obvious fucking trace. And like, whatever, dude's doing whatever on pinups, right? Tracing shit, calling it an art form, whatever. But I don't know, man. Just tracing shit is so bad. And then we've got this, which I think I'm going to have to move a little bit because of the chat. So let me squish that up. There's this tweet where he says, that's not a photo, that's an AI that I used for visualization to get the lighting right. And I want to show you what this is, okay? So this is the AI image that he uses. This is his obvious trace of the AI image, which he was just using for light. Now, this is all just a light study. He says so right here. It was for visualization to get the lighting right. Okay. But then come to find that this piece is actually a panel from a comic book. So it wasn't a light study. He literally traced the AI. And whatever, it is what it is. Okay. But then we get all three pictures. And he has two other AI reference pictures here. And I know he does because Every single one of these panels, these are all 3 panels on a page. It's a dude outside. He lights a cigarette, blows his smoke out, and then you get a narrow shot of him still exhaling from lighting his cigarette. And it's 3 different guys. This is 3 different faces. It's not a matter of shadow. It's not any of that. This is all 3 different guys. But, you guys, Sin doesn't care. Rev is still gonna draw Sin's book. Because Sin is a dipshit. Sin is the new Richie Meyer, apparently. Or he's listening to JDA, who says it's okay to use AI now. Richard thinks it's quaint. That the mistakes that AI invariably make are all adorable. And then he spends more time changing prompts so he can fix it, because he's doing a book right now that is all AI. But yeah, Mark, look. It's 3 different guys. The shape of the nose, around the eyes. Yeah, everybody has a comics book coming out, don't they? Like literally everybody except me. And Thomas has more than one, and they're all really good. So you should probably go find them on Amazon. And that is literally on Amazon. It's a good book. You should read it. And the only clip I have today is of One Gun. Because this all brings me back to Paul Ravoche, right? The only reason I paid attention to Rev and Rev's shit trace art, and the fact that Rev claimed he was all sorts of things that Rev never was because of Paul Ravoche. And Ethan had gone off on until I'm getting tired. Ethan went off on Paul Ravoche because he started making comments on Twitter about Shane and fucking back me bro, and Ethan being late all the time. I guess the dam of rocket fiction finally broke, and he started just owning Ethan all over fucking Twitter. It's been body blow after body blow. And so Ethan, of course, and that Ethan sort of way that he has, decided to share his communications with Paul Ravoche during a live stream. I'm not going to show it because we all know exactly how it's going to be spun. That Paul was desperate for Ethan. Ethan was just doing everything that he could out of the generosity, deepness, and goodness in his heart. Sweet. Villain of the Snow Seas 3 is currently in the works, along with a couple new ones. Yep, he dropped a link in the chat, people. Go check it out. And so, One Gun, who apparently got mad at me for calling him out for using AI. Man, there's me on Twitter minding my own business. I don't even realize that it's One Gun because I don't pay attention to everybody's fucking Twitter handle. And if you're not using the same name on Twitter that you are on YouTube, I'm lost. I'm confused. I have no idea who the fuck you are. And so I had made a comment about the AI slop. And apparently he had drawn it and then ran it through AI. So it's still AI slop. But he was very upset that I called it AI slop and went and fired off a live stream that I didn't watch. I was just told about it. But of course he did a live stream about Ethan and Paul Ravoche. And so here we go. I think.
Ethan Van Scriber. How's it going, Ethan?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, first time on my channel.
I know. And look, it's like a what program are we using? What is it?
I'm using Restream. I'm sorry about that. I'm not using StreamYard.
Okay, yeah. I'm listening to this. I'm like furious about it. I'm really angry about this idea that like, first of all, I don't even know who Paul Ravoche is. Like he had to tell me who he was, and we end up talking a little bit, and it just turns out that he's just like, I'm a single dad with like who got
Oh
screwed over
my
the quick. You're
god.
67 years old. How are you a single father? Like I don't understand. You're a single grandfather, you mean? Like what do you mean?
Ain't this how like it almost sounds parallel to the situation you had with Matt Barr almost?
Kind of, yeah.
Almost. I mean, because like every time when something like this happens, these guys are always sending you messages about how down their life is, and they basically tell you their whole life story until the next thing you know, shit goes south.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite understand it. I think they all kind of like massage each other. But like Paul Ravoche, like he asked to be on my show. He asked for my help. And I don't know exactly what kind of help I'm supposed to give him. Like you're on the show with everybody else. You know what I mean? You want to be there so that people know who you are.
Dude, I was just about to get into that part when he was talking about his time is money.
Not one fucking person here is here for the Paul Ravoche show. Super chats that come in are mine. They're gifts from my audience to me, unless they say otherwise. Unless let me do Rainbow the Brood. Be on my side and stop fucking with me.
Yeah. Before you go, man, how far along you with Rainbow the Brood, man? Because I think that's what everybody wants to hear too.
35 pages. 35 pages of Rainbow the Brood finished. We showed them. I think Anna was on the stream, and we went through every single page. And
tell Anna I said hi, and she should have had friended me and followed me just like she did with Cynic, because I was on the same show with Cynic when she came on.
Yeah.
Man, thank you for coming here. Hey, God bless you, my brother, and get them books out.
All right, brother. You have a good one. Thanks, guys.
Peace out.
Bye.
You're always welcome back.
Thanks.
Well, folks, that was Ethan Van Scriber stopped by this itty bitty channel.
Yeah, I know. I cut out like everything where they talked about Paul Ravoche on purpose. Because literally, you've all heard it before. Why even fucking bother? I gave you a little bit of it, but mostly the purpose of him going on One Gun's channel was it was his usual troll of the smaller channels, make sure they stay on his side. We've all seen him do it for years. This is his thing. He's got to make sure One Gun knows that I see you, bruh. Even though he doesn't really, he probably just did a vanity search or somebody sent him the fucking link, right? So what I did find on Twitter was instead of, and another reason, I will admit, I was impressed. One Gun did this, he went full out with the presentation, with the screenshots. It looked nice, but it was just all dumb. So he, Ravoche had taken the screenshots that Ethan shared and gave his own little explanation on Twitter. So I figured that'd be the easiest way to do it. We just go with the screenshot and the reply. So, he had originally said to Ethan, and this is, Ethan, I tagged you just now in that post from Kayla only to make sure you saw it, and because I think I heard you discussing similar issues. Also, thanks for again for the art auction. It was fun and extremely helpful. Best to you and your family. And Paul's comment is, the failure frog sits shamelessly on a giant pile of his backers' cash. Which goes with the next screenshot, actually. Fuck. He made this a little more complicated than I expected. Anyway, Ethan says, I have $943,000 in my business bank account and 2 big comics to make. The toys are in production. I'm doing my best to juggle family problems right now, and I'm live streaming to pay household bills with super chats. I'm drawing as much as I can, but I literally have to help Andrea with everything. She can't drive, she can't fully take care of Ava, she can't do her share of the business stuff because she can't focus anymore. Someone sent me your tweet about Jesus, and because you said millions, I think you're referring to me. I pray every day to survive this all. Do me a favor, please don't join in the corrupt dog pile against me, man. I don't know how much more I can handle. Not from you, too. 2 comics to make. How about 10 plus projects? And then he quotes out the corrupt dog pile against me. How about people waking up to scamming and not wanting to be associated with that, which is actually really kind of true, right? Paul says he doesn't know how much more he can handle eliciting sympathy. He's handling all that money, though. Poor man, all the world's against him in his mind. And Paul had said, Ethan, my statement was purposefully broad, and I'm not dogpiling anyone, nor am I an online mob joiner. I'm very sympathetic to the dire personal situation like the one you described. Believe me, having been through a lot of big challenges myself, I could respond in more detail than this, but first, how can I know that any statement I make won't end up on a stream? That's the unfortunate world I found myself in, and it is just one example among many of why I dropped out. Long story short, I wish you well in your troubles, have nothing against you all, and hope this eventually resolves in a positive way for you and your family. Now, part of what Ethan took exception to was the fact that Paul Ravoche comes from a land and a world of professionals, where professionals get paid for their time. See, Ethan does not give anybody cash, any kind of enumeration for all the time that they sit on his stream. He never has. I've always thought it was kind of rude not to offer regular guests, regular panelists on your stream a chunk of your super chat money, because as much as Ethan says, oh, they're there for me, nobody's there just for you, bruh. They're also there for the people that you have on. They help make your show entertaining. 2,400,000 is the amount of money in product Ethan owes to backers over 16 plus campaigns. And he thinks he's professional. That he's more professional than the guy who's worked for Marvel, DC, Boom Studios, who's done work on Batman Beyond, and I believe he worked on like Justice League, The New Frontier, and a bunch of other shit. Like a real professional who expected to come into a space where people acted professional. Only he ended up in Comicsgate. That poor fucking dude. Right? And then I was gonna say, I started reading the tweet. He flagged Ethan, gave him a privacy notice. So what happens when you flag someone for a privacy violation is you can appeal the privacy violation, or you can just wait. I think it's 36, 48 hours. I can't remember exactly which. And it either expires or they take down the video. So the video where Ethan went through all of their DMs and emails was struck by Paul Ravoche. Now, unfortunately, showing private communication on a live stream, if you are a party to that communication, I don't think is quite the privacy violation that Ravoche may think it is. Ethan showing his email address may be enough. I don't know. But he did, because I'm the one that redacted it from the screenshot of Ethan's stream. So maybe it's enough. I don't know. Maybe the time has already expired and Ethan's stream will go up or stay up or not go down. I have no idea. But that's this timestamp I would have reported instead of a bigger one. And then, of course, this all continues over on Twitter. And Ethan, this is like the best fucking tweet from Ethan. Paul Ravoche is a pathetic liar. Can't produce a 48-page book in 5 years? This is a lie. I produced and released Wrecked Planet, 73 pages, Salamandroid's Death String, 20 pages, and a Cyberfrog Dark Harvest, 27 pages in the last 4 years, along with a line of action figures and various sundry other products. On top of this, I devoted lots of time to helping indie creators my peers get noticed, get fan bases of their own, and get their project funded. No, just your friends, dude. Just your friends. People relied on me for this. Happy to help. Okay. All right. First off. Hold on. I need to get... Yeah, this will be fine. First off. This is the Rainbow, of course, the Indiegogo for Rainbow the Brute, which was, of course, November 2020. But what we're interested really in is Dark Harvest, which funded in 2023, right? Dark Harvest, which is a preview book to Cyberfrog 3 Red Extermination. So these are all pages that he was going to have to draw for his fucking Cyberfrog 3 book. You know, the one he's still working on. So I don't think, like, trying to use that as a defense, like, I do this book. Oh, wait. You mean you drew this book that apparently nobody has gotten? Or very few people did. Right? Here's the 7-day Dark Harvest last chance. Bro, when are we getting these books? 5/4/2026. 4/4/2026. I haven't received anything yet, in addition to about 5 other campaigns. I saw the update saying this began shipping last year. Is there something holding up the remaining pledges? 3/12/2026. Where's my book? 3/8/2026. Fancy sending us our books before you sell them on eBay? Watching Trashcast and spotted this in catch-up set you were pimping and like, huh? So we've got the book that is half vaporware that Ethan couldn't even decide, and there was something weird when it came out, like it wasn't 27 pages, and what he promised wasn't actually what the book was. Like, it was supposed to be original art, but there wasn't a whole bunch of original art. Yeah, I want to hang out with that Vaughn guy too. Yeah. Not yet, but we're gonna meet him. And so Ethan, of course, goes on. Rainbow the Brute is now 35 pages in. I don't know anyone who's worked as hard as I have with as much magical success while being dragged down by people like Paul Ravoche. I'm awesome, let's face it. He had made a comment to Shane that he was scared to leave Ethan. Which he is. Shane totally is. Ethan's like, nah, that's just juvenile peer pressure shit. No, bruh. Shane is a fucking pussy. who's too scared to try to do any of this on his own. We all know it. He's being bullied into a fucking crowdfunding site he doesn't even want to run because you can't get a fucking campaign put up on Indiegogo. Yeah, Shane let that slip on a live stream. Unfortunately, I had a really hard time finding the clip in the stream. I think it might have gotten taken down. But Shane actually made a comment that Billy had said that they were no longer allowing people to run campaigns if they had late campaigns. Duh. That's why we're getting Back Me, bro. Back Me in the ass, bro, is coming around because of that. And then, Ethan goes on to say, you never understood what Comicsgate is, Paul. We're just indie creators who have already been left out of the mainstream, trying to do our own thing with each other's help. If there are other, better options that arise, CGers support each other in grabbing them. CGers can't even support each other in using fucking Kickstarter. And what are you supporting? The Dungeoneers? How much support did they get in the long run? Paul's kind of lucky. He got out before there were more communications, before he was too deeply embedded into the CG King's culture that it sticks to him like tar. You know? He got to leave that tar baby behind because I think he was only on CG Kings once, maybe twice on the auction shit. Or maybe he just showed up for the auction show. I'm not really sure. I don't think he ever did the drawing thing. But they're all trying to pretend that, like, Ethan only had an auction for Paul Ravoche, which is just fucking retarded as all get out. You know? And Ethan ends this by saying, the fact that you think Comicsgate is a brand that's recently been poisoned is hilarious. You must live in a cave. No. We all live in the real world. It is poisoned. It was poisoned when you laughed and encouraged Shane to commit assault by drawing on some passed out dude in Tampa. It was tainted when you decided to spend 2.5 years doing trash casts and doing nothing but crying about Eric July, who is infinitely more successful right now than Ethan throughout his entire career. Imagine almost 13 years as a pro. And some young dude who has no real talent for writing. No offense, Eric. He can't draw. Kinda not sing. Can't really dance. Manages to hire enough talent to end up everywhere while you're still struggling to get out your 5 years late 48-page comic. Now this will be interesting because most of Ethan's comics end up being longer than their given page number, like he pointed out in his tweet. Only I don't think, to me, and this is what happens, and this is why all of his books are actually longer. It has nothing to do with Ethan trying to offer the customer more bang for their buck. It's not that Ethan was behind on the book, so decided to add some extra pages. They weren't a stretch goal. He didn't have to do it, but the reason they show up and he wastes all that time doing so many more pages is because he doesn't actually write the story first. He doesn't script. He doesn't do any kind of storyboarding. He just sits down and draws a page that he thinks would be cool in the book. and then he has to weave them all together with fill-in panels, right? Fuck. My Cyberfrog 1 was just a cannibalized ash can. Y'all remember that? Because he couldn't decide what he was fucking doing with the story. Same with 2. He couldn't decide. I think 2, he had actually finished 2 and went back and redrew a whole bunch of it because Bill Willingham told him that it had some issues. He denies it. You know? And then, of course, you have Shane. Shane. Ethan spent an entire day on Twitter yelling at Paul Ravoche and yelling at others picking on Shane. While Shane is trying to defend himself, Ethan's there quote tweeting Shane, trying to back him up, be the big bro. The power struggle that is going to occur when Back Me Bro is finally launched is gonna be insanity. Total insanity. And we've talked about it behind the scenes, and then I saw this tweet by Ravoche, and it was so dead on. And he says that the Back Me Bro is a slow motion power play for Davis to eventually slither up onto the useless, rotten throne of CG. It's a control position to own the new site, picking who can launch campaigns and who can't. It could play out in various ways. Maybe Frog is allowed to launch one more campaign in hopes that a big start will bump up the flaccid CG balloon's image. But if too many people don't get their stuff, complaints pour in, then fireworks will ensue. When Frog is eventually told no, he can't launch more until he fulfills the first, not to mention the 16 or whatever previous ones, then the rage will really burst forth, epically. Davis, the FedEx driver battler, knows which way is up, and it rankles. He's trapped in a simp underling role, being squashed by a failure who makes him look bad, and it hurts. And now he's further stuck with all the work and headaches of wrangling a whole new site/operation. He'll want something back for that, for sure. Davis knows he rightly deserves the crumbling throne. And it's a Shakespearean comic book tragedy, I tell ya. And it's true. It's totally true. When I first heard about Davis doing this crowdfunding site, I'm like, man, he's really trying to wiggle his way up there, because that's something you can hold over Ethan, right? And then I hear that Ethan's going to be the one, the launching campaign on the site. Whip out the bottle of champagne and launch that bitch, and it's going to be with Ethan's campaign. Ethan, who has 16 unfulfilled campaigns on Indiegogo, is the flagship project for your newly launched crowdfunding site. The one you want people to trust. The one you need. No, fuck want. The one you need people to trust. Otherwise, they won't fucking use it. The first year is all going to be his little Comicsgate friends, and they get to use it for free. I guess they have to try to figure out whether or not it works. I don't know. He's going to give the money to him as soon as the campaign closes. No escrow. No thoughts of even holding something back in case there's an issue or you have to issue late refunds. Says he talked to a CPA. Did you talk to an attorney? Did you talk to somebody who knows about this? Have you talked to somebody about structuring and how you're going to have to structure finances and escrow accounts and all this other stuff? Because you can't go touching. You can't touch the the backers' money. It can't just go into your general fund. Have you spoken to a payment processor? Have you talked to the payment processor? Have you talked to Stripe or whoever else is gonna be doing your back end money? Taking your credit cards for you? I mean, I know you use one now, but have you talked to them about what kind of requirements they're gonna have as a crowdfunding site? Because apparently over at Indiegogo, they have to hold a certain amount of money in reserves just to keep their payment processor happy from each campaign. Is it just gonna be a fucking WordPress site? Because lots of people, shit, I could do a WordPress site. And what makes your site any better than using, say, Wheeler's? Wheeler's site's pretty fucking cool. Also, for anybody who may have some not safe for work stuff, Wheeler's site is apparently the place to go. They use crypto for the not safe for work stuff. You don't have to worry about a fucking payment processor. And apparently I read that Kickstarter is now banning the nudie pics and censor bars, so you won't be able to have like your dirty covers on your Kickstarter campaigns anymore. Preston Poulter, John Lamont, hardest hit. Right? So there'll be people looking for places. Are you going to be able to offer them? No. No, because your site isn't up. It's not going to be up. And for the first year, it's just going to be for your fucking Comicsgate friends. Are you going to let people come over from Kickstarter? Does anybody from Kickstarter want to go to a site owned by the guy, like one of the top capos in fucking Comicsgate? No. It's just it's going to be fun. Far more fun than I think this stream probably was tonight. I apologize, not in advance, obviously, because it's already happened. But, you know, that will be fun to watch. Those two, it's just gonna be... He is right. Ravosh is right. It's gonna be fucking epic. Shane having control over Ethan? Wow. If you were Ethan, why would you give Shane control of your money? If you're Ethan and can't use Indiegogo, why aren't you just putting up on your own fucking website? Why aren't you just paying Yanzi to put the same thing on your website that he had on his? You could pay her to run your campaigns on your website. You don't need Shane. John does, because John's a fucking retard. John Malin ain't going out and making sure that he has a URL to John Malin Art or whatever fucking thing he'd call it. He ain't buying, he ain't paying a web hosting service. He's not gonna pay fucking Yanzi to do a website for him, because his entire business plan was just to use Indiegogo. He probably still can. Apparently he can't figure it out. So he'll be on Shane's fucking website too. Oh, and another thing I totally forgot about that I did not mention. Oh my gosh. Let me find my window capture and make sure I'm on the right fucking page. Does anybody else... Let me scroll down here a little bit so I can find it. Anybody else remember this? This is My Girthy Stallion. My Girthy Stallion is supposed to be a backup book to The Rainbow the Brute. My Girthy Stallion. Oh no, yeah, that's a spin-off. No, Cool Story Bro, I'm sorry. Cool Story Bro, Toxic Fairy Tales for Masculine Men Girthy Stallion is the ash can, and I believe he finally hired somebody. It was going to be Matt Barr, but ended up hiring somebody else who cannot draw horses. He's just stuck with Barr. And then, of course, the leather-bound volume of Future Classics, featuring high tea parodies of fairy tales reworked and illustrated with a toxically masculine agenda. See, John Malin would like to do Little Red Riding Hood. So, John Malin's Little Black Riding Hood and the Elephant book were supposed to be parts of that campaign. What happens to them now? What happens to them? You're gonna put the book you've already made people pay for on other campaigns back into your campaign for Rainbow the Brute? Does it not exist? That is okay, Snug. How are you this evening? Yeah, I know. I totally wasn't thinking. And I think Aldous was streaming, wasn't he? But yeah. So the whole campaign for Rainbow the Brute is kind of fucked up. There's not going to be a lunchbox. There's not going to be a leather-bound fairy tale book. There's not going to be a whole lot of shit. So he can say, I'm at page 35 all he wants. It means nothing. Because all the rest of the shit still has to be finished. Anyway. It is late. Wow, it's 11:30. I talked for quite a while. I will leave you with some Japanese snow fairies. Because they're freaking cute. Oh, we got a new puppy. His name is Ruffles. He's a little chihuahua. He is literally a purse puppy. And he's fucking adorable. But this is for you. So, thank you guys for stopping by. I'm sorry I'm cutting out just as you get here, Snuggy, but that's what you get for being late. And thanks, everybody. I'm probably won't... Well, I might not be back next week, but definitely the week after that. And Morg and I have been coming up with content ideas from Heroes Con. So, that should be good. I'll actually have my fake producer right there on hand to help me with live content. Yay! So, thank you all so much for stopping by, and I'll see you later.